Rockbridge Village Council meeting being held on June 2nd, 2026. Calling the meeting to order. Roll call.
Mrs. Beckwith?
Here.
Mrs. Nash?
Here.
Mrs. Skida?
Yes.
Mrs. Sintik?
Yes.
Mrs. Swanger?
Here.
And Mr. Simonis?
Here.
Now we'll all stand for the pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We need a motion to accept the agenda as presented.
I'll make a motion to accept.
I'll second it.
Mr. Simonis?
Yes.
Mrs. Beckwith?
Yes.
Mrs. Nash?
Yes.
Mrs. Skida?
Yes.
Mrs. Sintik?
Yes.
And Mrs. Swanger?
Yes.
Now we need a motion to accept the minutes from the April 28th, 2026 regular council meeting and the minutes from the April 12th, 2026 workshop.
I'll make a motion to accept the minutes for the April 28th, 2026 regular council meeting and the minutes from the May 12th, 2026 workshop.
I'll second.
Mrs. Beckwith?
Yes.
Mrs. Swanger?
Yes.
Mr. Simonis?
Yes.
Mrs. Nash?
Yes.
Mrs. Skida?
Yes.
And Mrs. Sintik?
Yes.
Now we need a motion to accept payments as presented.
I'll make a motion to accept the payments as presented.
I'll second.
Mrs. Swanger?
Yes.
Mr. Simonis?
Yes.
Mrs. Beckwith?
Yes.
Mrs. Nash?
Yeah.
Mrs. Skida?
I have a question. Pam Forstall is in all capital letters, and then there's a Pamela J. Forstall.
That would be one. The Pamela J is payroll. And the other one is probably reimbursement. It would be the 4/22/36.
Yeah.
What was that before, Dave?
The Easter stuff?
No, not in May. I mean, April. Oh, that was in March. What did we order? I should have looked that up. I'm sorry. I apologize.
I just didn't know if you were separate, like if that was going to two separate names in the accounting system because of the...
It is set up like that for a reason. So we don't have a credit card, so, I meant to look this up today, but I was swamped all day.
So for accounting reasons, so...
It is set up like that. The payroll is set up with Pamela J, and then the other one is like, so if we reimburse something, and that would be,
Could have been Amazon.
we do have our own Amazon set up now.
Was it for the camera?
They could have been. I can look that up and let you guys know. I did mean to do that today, but we were swamped today. But that's what that would be, and Dave signs off on all of that, by the way.
I just was
But
questioning...
yes, but that is why it is set up so that you do see the difference.
Difference, okay.
Yes, that is why that we do have it set up like that. And we did set up a business Amazon because we can do it without a credit card now.
So they'll just come out of the...
Yes, so Dave was in here the one day and we did set that up. Because like even a lot of our paper and stuff is so much cheaper through Amazon.
So prior to that, there was no Amazon account set up, so
No, so like I would just order it and get reimbursed, but like I said, we have we print out the statement and everything and he goes over it, I mean, but I will verify that though and let you all know at workshop, but I'm going to guess that's what it was, and it probably was for the camera, that's the last thing I'm... Oh! Flowers. It's all for all the flowers. Thank you, Lord. Yes, when we went shopping for all the flowers, Dave, that's what that was. Yes. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Did I make my rounds? Probably not.
No.
Mrs. Cintiq.
Who's Neptune Equipment? What do they do for us?
Neptune Equipment is where we purchase meters, meter parts, and,
Water use.
yes, our water meters. And this month, we also paid the annual service for them. So that
Part of the
20
contract?
Yes, so when you see the 2442, that's what that was for that. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll move on to, or do we get-
Yeah, we're done with that.
we're good.
Yeah, that was done.
Now we'll move on to committee reports. Finance, Brenda?
Our revenue was $63,381.20, and our expenditures was $53,831.86.
Okay, we need a motion to accept the finance report.
I'll make a motion to accept the financial report.
I'll second.
Mrs. Nash?
Yes?
Mr. Simonis?
Yes.
Mrs. Beckwith?
Yes.
Mrs. Skeeta? Mrs. Cintiq?
Yes.
And Mrs. Swaller.
Yes.
Water and sewer, Sam?
Okay, there's several issues they're going to vote on tonight. One would be the increase in grinder abuse fees. The second one is addressing issues related to the recent litigation concerning grinder abuse, where the residents of Rock Creek won the case but lost between $800 and $900 in litigation fees. So we're going to fix that. Also, the increase in water and sewer bills, and that is related to the water main breaks, increase in water infrastructure repair and replacement. And if anybody has any questions, they can call the village hall with any questions about any of these things. Next.
Cemetery, anything?
Cemetery board meeting, so the first meeting I attended was to vote on for somebody for Rock Creek Council or for Roaming Shores. I was elected. The special meeting we had was the replacement of the chapel roof, and the winning bid went to Clemson's Roofing. And the funding for that is, for the improvement, will come from the chapel fund and some from the general fund. And donations can be made by the public and put them in the box outside. They're also planning on doing a fundraiser this summer, and then our next meeting isn't until the end of June.
Do you know how much that was for the replacement, the roof replacement?
11.2, I think.
11.
I forgot to write that down.
SCMY? Sam?
Let me see. They're still working on their insurance with their winter water damage. Looks like they're going to replace 9 feet of their roofing. Oh, wrong thing. Hold on. Sorry, guys. I've only got one good eye. All right, all lights are operating as of 2 days ago. So, which I think means that people are calling them in. So that's pretty good.
Yeah. It's an easy way to keep up on it.
It does, but I
Calling
mean,
in. Yeah,
usually they burn out a lot. It
they
appears
do
like.
burn out a
But
lot.
people are staying on it. I mean, the public's staying on it, so that's pretty good. I just had one question. This is kind of, I'm going to ask you. It was at the Commerce meeting, there was questions about the Bobcat, driving the Bobcat.
Aaron and I did a lot of research before we bought the one we did. Like, this is not
Okay.
a decision we made lightly or without talking to people who know more than we do. But we got the one we got specifically so it would be okay to drive on the road with tires.
Because I looked at it, it has tires, I mean, okay, so it doesn't damage it by driving on the road.
I suppose if you drove like a car, it might, but, you know, from this house to that house.
And we don't take it out in town very often. Maybe once a week in the summer. That's being generous. So mostly it stays in the plant.
And if you do have to take it out, you have to use the trailer that's sitting over there, but it has to go.
I mean, yeah, if we're driving like all the way across town and just to one, if we're only doing one thing,
Right.
yeah, but a lot of the times we're going from place to place.
What was our price tag on that?
Do we get more?
48?
I think with delivery fees and everything, it should be right around 50. They have not invoiced us on that, but the estimate was like $50,270 or something like that. So, right around that.
It looks nice.
Okay, anything further, Sam?
No.
Safety, Barb?
There's a lot of potholes and residents asking when we're going to start patching some of those around town. We have full patch, I can get on that.
Do we have any kind of certain streets that are,
Yeah, the Water Street, there's, starting at the winery and then coming up to Route 45, there's that another big hole I saw. Took some pictures. They're significant. I can get on that. Okay. And then Sam, I'm water and sewer as well, and you just gave your report. When do you have your committee meetings for that? Like, so that we can talk about some of the stuff that you're discussing?
Workshop?
Yeah, we can do a workshop.
Well, you already had your report. Like, where'd you get that? Yes.
I make it.
That's what I'm saying. Like, is there time that we do that together, or is that just you?
Well, I'm in charge of it, so it is. But if you want to, I'm assuming you want to get more involved.
Yeah. I mean, my name's next to it too.
Okay. Yeah, I'll reach out and we'll
Okay.
work on it together.
All right. Thanks. No problem.
anything?
I have something for safety, only because I've been in a couple meetings and people in Sloat are complaining about the driving. People driving real fast, it's dangerous, they're worried about their kids. So, and I left the pictures in my car. I did take pictures. There's water, 166 in water. It's got a, like slow down a kid's picture. And it's got the,
On Randall?
yes, and it's got 25. But coming off of 45, there actually is no signage. And there's more houses on that part than it is. And then I don't know if, that turn is severe.
So that was,
Because if
somebody
you
brought
take
that
a
up.
dip, if you didn't know it, you take that dip down because it's like a hill, then it's like, whoa, in the
So-
road.
So somebody brought that up in my planning commission meeting, people speeding around that curve. I asked if they wanted a guardrail, he said no, but I think maybe some Chevron curve signs and maybe looking into a removable speed bump. So that way it doesn't get ruined in the winter when you're,
Are we talking about Randall?
yeah,
Still?
we're like,
That's not a bad idea.
he said they fly around their emails and
That's
they end
the
up in
places
people's
that
yards.
I
I'm like,
see now
oh.
that have speed
If you
bumps.
get off of 45,
Take
you're
'em out
flying
when they're
down.
going back in.
Because it's straight.
Mm.
You don't see that turn, so it's
Yeah.
right there in front of you.
Yeah, so it should have
It doesn't have
signs
that,
at
that
least.
house there either, is overgrown.
Well, that's part of it, because the sign,
You know, like
the
reflective.
grass is up this high.
Okay, anything further on that?
Yeah, I wanted to add the tree limbs. While you're coming down Liberty Street, the school buses have to drive in the center of the street because they keep hitting all of those trees.
limbs, do we trim any of those trees?
We do that already, hired out.
It might be electric company. We don't usually trim any trees because we're not really.
It's called for it.
Uh-huh.
So that would be something to get maybe tree service to look at.
It's kind of
Well,
important.
the only time they trim trees is when CEI comes through, but they gotta be up at the top before they trim trees.
No, they're all like coming into the
Yeah,
road.
it's like at the, by the garage, my bushes that are there. I haven't been able to, well, I can now because I'm home. I'll take my little buzz saw and I'll trim all those, because last year they grew out so much that I had to go down and trim them all off because trucks were flying by and they were hitting them. So, that might be something, if you know who owns them, maybe.
Yeah, but if they're near power lines, then.
Yeah, well, that's
they
just
have
it.
to
Well,
do
mine
it.
aren't near power lines, but they're,
Yeah, the most we do is like if there's like bushes or like prickers that are encroaching in the sidewalk or the road, we cut those back up. Usually we leave trees and by pound, we leave that alone.
Okay, anything any further?
Yeah.
Okay, SCAD?
All right, here's the SCAD report. All right, they're still working their insurance with their 9 feet of roof replacement. Okay. Their insurance for the employees went up significantly, and it's probably due to the accident they had a couple years ago. They do have surplus that they're selling off. Let me see what I got it. I hope it's here, I'll just pass it around. Of things that they're, surplus they're just trying to sell. And then they have their Midway Car Show, July 25th. It's an annual classic car show, and they get a lot of donations and stuff from it. They did have CPR training, 2 people from Rock Creek. All right, completed it. And the runs of the hospital, there was an increase in Orwell. They're up to 29, and we're still at 8. So we're kind of still
So we're
doing
healthy.
better. Yes, we're still healthy in Rock Creek. So that's that.
Okay, planning commission, Gloria?
Yeah. So at our meeting, Cecilia gave kind of a rundown on agricultural use and how it's regulated by state law and how it doesn't matter if it's residential, commercial, or industrial. It is not subject to local zoning or building codes. We discussed a code of conduct for resident members, but there was some concerns with First Amendment rights, so we might talk about maybe just letting it go at the next meeting. And then the next meeting will be scheduling dates for the letters to go out to residents about the map changes and to schedule the public hearing date.
Anything any further on
That's
that?
it.
Personnel, Sam? Sam again? Personnel?
Personnel. All right, Dan, our wastewater manager, has taken the part-time zoning inspector position. And from
what happened to our zoning inspector?
He had some problems.
Oh,
and we were in the 90-day period, so
Oh, okay.
it's,
So when we hired Joe Morrow, we voted on that. Are we not doing that now? Are we changing how we're managing this?
We need to take a vote on. Yeah?
Do you have a resume we could see?
but you, no, you're administrator.
I asked if he would be interested, and he was, and it's convenient, he works, he can just do it. He's already
works
in
here.
town, he was very interested, he has a little background, not necessarily in zoning, but in construction and that kind of stuff, so.
Well, if we have an opening, I don't understand why we're not posting it and going through the same process again. I mean, still an opening.
Is the process the same if it's from within, I guess? Or can you, I mean, would it be considered a promotion? Is it more hours, more money, obviously?
I mean, we're hiring.
Was there
separate
anybody
positions.
that you guys already interviewed?
We
That you-
did actually.
I know you-
interview one person got back to me and didn't want it.
Okay.
So we went back to some of the people that we
Had
didn't interview
interviewed
the first time.
before?
And we called them, and
No?
they didn't
And a
want
lot
it.
of them live
They said
too
yes,
far
and then
away.
changed their mind.
Yeah, if you live too far away, it's not. I mean, I think it's nice if we can hire within.
And we have those.
I mean,
jobs
since
again.
it is just so few hours a month. I mean, I don't know what anybody else thinks, but that's what I think.
Who all is on personnel committee?
Me,
And you didn't know anything about?
him leaving?
Yeah.
No.
I'll call you next time.
Well, it's just the communication on our part.
That's cracking me
I
up.
have to start calling everybody.
Okay, now we'll move on to official reports. I get to go first. Okay, mayor's report. Members of council, village employees, and residents of Rock Creek. Pursuant to my statutory duty under Ohio Revised Code Section 733.30, which governs general day-to-day enforcement and administrative duties, the mayor is required to ensure all municipal bylaws and ordinances are faithfully obeyed and must sign official commissions, licenses, and permits authorized by legislative authority. For months, a narrative has been pushed by certain members of the body regarding to mistrust of my administration and two of the council members. Trust is built on transparency, structural control, and shared commitment to our residents. It is not built on personal vendettas, backroom agreements, and the obstruction of executive oversight and blatant disrespect for each other, which is not only unproductive, it must be overcome. I'll be available to any of the employees and council members who wish to work in good faith for the people who elected us. It's time to run the village hall with professionalism, security, and institutional respect that the residents of Rock Creek deserve. I look forward to working with all of you to implement these professional standards. This concludes my report, and we'll now move on to the next item on the agenda.
There were 2 short periods of time this year that we did not have a zoning inspector, and when that happens, I have to act as that. And I do find it a little disturbing that in my short time as zoning inspector, the 2 stop work orders I had to issue were 2 council members. And for a long time, we have known that we have a lot of illegal tie-ins to our sewer lines. One resident this month sealed a drain themselves after I notified them. Another resident, after going back and forth for like 9 months, we finally went and capped the line off ourselves. And another resident has been notified. And then we have been doing a lot of work at the park, getting ready to put in a new sign. It was really great to see such a good turnout for the cleanup day we had for trash and the park.
Park looks nice.
Yeah, so we just want to know all around the village has done a good job at the park. Yes. That concludes.
Mr. Mayor, we had a conversation in February that you had signed 3 stop work orders for the administrator. And in her March report is the one that one of the 2 that she's referencing. And it clearly shows my address in the report. I was curious about the other 2 that you signed. I never heard anything on the report of those 2 from February.
I've only issued 2 stop work orders.
So what happened to the other 2 that the mayor signed?
Well, there was 3 that were signed. If there was 2 given out, that means there's 1 lot.
Okay, from February? So we've been sitting on these since February?
I
I've only issued 2. I've only signed off on 2. I'm only aware of 2, so I don't know where this third one's coming from.
Okay. At any point in time, did you reach out to the residents and try to have a conversation with them before putting a stop work order sign on?
In one instance, yes.
Is there a reason you wouldn't do that every time?
I mean, if you're building something and you are well aware that you need a permit, no, I don't think it's always necessary.
So you're making an assumption that the people know, and you're not reaching out in good faith to the residents?
I mean, if you're on council, you are well aware that you need a zoning permit to do anything.
Chloe, has there ever been a point where you were afraid to do your job?
Yeah.
All right, so maybe that's a good reason why.
Why would she be afraid to talk to a resident?
I wonder why.
Well, then maybe that's not the role for her.
No. Maybe.
I mean, if she's afraid to speak with a resident,
Well, maybe employees or council members or the family members shouldn't threaten employees.
who has threatened? Who has made a threat? That's a pretty big
In
accusation.
both instances, in the past, we have had intimidating encounters. So, yeah, it would be a little intimidating to have to sign something and walk up to someone's house, knowing in the past, they have intimidated us and
In
threatened
what
us.
way? When did the intimidations take place?
I don't have to explain
Chloe,
myself.
did you ask with you on those occasions?
I think so. But I had Aaron go with me.
Mayor couldn't go with them.
He told her no. He didn't want to be involved.
So I just don't think it sets a very good example when the 2 I've had to issue were both to people sitting at this table.
I don't even know what you're talking about.
You don't know about your husband? You're being it up in her face and being so mad he was kicking rocks at her last week? Maybe you should go talk to him.
Well, that would be intimidating to me. The other thing, back to what you're saying, I was doing work years ago in Jefferson, and I didn't know I had to have a permit. No one got all of me. I came back, there had to be 50 stop work signs all over this building. So it was up
Simple
to me
conversation
to
goes a
go.
long way. We had a very pleasant conversation with Joe Mile. He came and he spoke with my husband, and it was very pleasant. So
Well, I'm just saying,
clear.
it's not the
What
way
I'm
it's
hearing are
done.
false accusations, and that's what I'm not appreciating.
It's not a false accusation.
Well, she said it was like giving it to me, so I didn't know what she was talking about. I'm not building anything.
Okay. Let's move on. Solicitor report.
I have to move
Fiscal officer report.
I do want to go over a couple things. Wendy had asked for a couple extra financial reports. She asked for a receipt listing similar to the payment listing. Our program does not provide anything like that. I mean, a listing. So I printed out the receipt register, which does include every receipt for the month. It's not exactly a listing, but it does include that. So I did want to point that out, although it's not exactly what she asked for. It's as close as our program does provide. Community revenue status. And then I do want to talk a little bit about the rate increase. Wendy, at workshop, you mentioned that you're against it because I recommended it. And I don't know if you realize that is part of my responsibility. When we have a fund that is dropping, it is my duty to bring that to the attention of the group. And I brought it
To be clear, I agree that it is your responsibility to bring that to the attention of the group. I never said it was not. I do agree with that. That is where your responsibility ends. And then it's up to us to make a decision on how council is going to move forward with that. I
Yes.
agree with that.
Okay, but how it came about that I made the recommendation was Sam and Chloe and Dave had a meeting. We had a meeting, we went over the finances with that. And then when we were at workshop, Dave asked me if I would talk about it.
Right, and I appreciate that, and now we need to move to the next step.
I agree, but you keep bringing it up, that the fiscal officer recommended it, not a member of council.
It was a recommendation from you, was it not?
With their support, yes.
Okay, well, it was a recommendation from the fiscal officer. That's what I said.
Okay, we don't have the zoning inspector's report. Chloe first?
No major adjustments this month. I do plan on, we have a handful, 9 to 12 old meters still out there, and I do want to notify each and every one of them that we should have probably by the end of the month to, at least by the next meter read, to call and schedule us to change the meter.
There are some that you cannot get a reading on at all.
Yeah, there's at least 6 I can't get a reading at all, and it's been 6 months to a year since then that happened, so, and it's just difficult trying to get in to replace those meters.
So it's the ones that you're then long-term estimating?
Yes, for sure, those are the most primary ones.
Okay. Give you the adjustment.
Yeah, there's not many, there's 2 adjustments.
Motion to approve adjustment?
I'll make a motion to approve.
I'll second it.
Mr. Simones?
Yes.
Mrs. Beckwith?
Yes.
Mrs. Knack?
Yes.
Mrs. Skeeta?
Where are we looking? Adjustments, where is that at?
On the paper?
The register?
But it's,
2026 adjustments.
Come on.
Here, you want mine?
I have one. I looked at it. Okay.
Yes.
Maybe you'd like to tell me what the adjustments are?
The one for May 6th was someone moved out, so their deposit that they normally put down was given back to them. And then the one on the 28th was because they didn't pay, so to get their water turned back on, they had to pay a $25 fee.
Mrs. Skeeta?
Yes.
Mrs. Sintek?
yes.
Mrs. Swanger?
Yes.
Okay. Any old business?
I have a question on this receipt register. Can I just figure out, what's the Village of Rock Creek, $11,987 voided, and then the other one is $20,000?
Water and sewer receipts.
Is that the one void?
The one voided was, when I wasn't balancing, I went back and Lauren had made a little mistake in her accounting, and, so we had to void that and redo it. Simple error,
Oh, I see where it's cleared on the,
Yes.
I just didn't see that.
yes,
Got it.
yeah, that's what it was. That's the water and sewer revenue for the month.
Any more questions? New business. Motion to give a first reading on ordinance 2651, water rate increase.
Before we move forward with that, I mean, are we as council, as a representative of the residents, going to make any efforts to see if we can sit down and try and find some funds somewhere else, or tighten our belt, or make some changes before we simply move into passing this on?
I think we've had suggestions that were dumped, basically.
Well, we've
One of them
never-
was talking about the water main breaks. Why are we fixing them and spending twice as much money if we could wait in the morning? Just like a person with their house. The furnace breaks down, they'll say, I'll come out, it's gonna be $1,000. If you wait in the morning, it's 500.
Right, I think.
I
there's-
brought that one up, that was shut down.
Yeah, I
So
think that there's probably some other
what,
things
what
that we
other,
could
well, what
do.
are they?
I would like to have that, some time set aside at workshop so we can have that discussion. That's what workshops are supposed to be for, that's my understanding. And I think that
I think we've gone over it, we've explained it as much as we can. We know that our valves are not working,
I
and sometimes they
think that-
shut off, so we need infrastructure.
As the village council, I think we maybe should look a little bit further. I think we should do some digging and look at what all of our expenses are. You know, I'm fairly new still, I'd like to learn more before we just make these decisions and try to pass these through, and maybe we can find some savings somewhere.
I thought there was leaks or something that you were investigating too. Like,
We found 2 leaks, but we do not believe it's enough to make any real difference. Also, we had a meeting with the county last week or the week before. They're increasing our rates 4% this year, 4% next year, probably 4% the following year.
and we are extremely
At least
careful
4% was
with
how they
what we
put it.
spend for water. We are extremely, we don't spend a penny that is not absolutely dire that we spend.
There's
And
not a
that's been-
lot
I mean,
of
it might be-
expenses other than the brakes and the infrastructure costs. There's no fat to cut.
I mean,
Other
maybe
than-
not within that current budgeted area, but maybe as a village as a whole, maybe we could find some things.
Well, when you do that, I mean,
Didn't you guys
If you-
run on that
the only money you
Run
need
on
to-
what?
to be elected? Was looking into, and that was how many months ago? Well, I mean, we're 5 months into it.
Dave's just gonna have to read this thing over and over again.
Well, I think we've explained it as best we can to everyone here and to the general public.
Okay, well then, I think that
I mean,
there's some
your-
other
your-
things
your
that we
vote
could
is
be
your vote.
looking at. There's other things that we could be looking at, and I think maybe we should do that. As an example, I would like to see the timesheets for the employees from the beginning of the year. I'd like to see what kind of expenses we have. I'd like to learn some more about those things, trying to educate myself on these things, trying to get in here to read the ordinances, but I can't do that. I've asked the mayor 3 times to come up here with me after hours when I am available. He has not been available. So I am trying to dig into these things, and it has not been made very easy for me to do so. So, that said, I think that there's probably some fruitful conversations we can have if we actually tried to look at some ways to tighten our belt overall as a community and not just look at this. This is the water fund as one flat line, and this is the only column, and we can't veer out of it. I mean, we can reallocate funds if we can find them. So why are we looking for them?
The only fund that you can take from is the general fund. And if we start feeding water with the general fund, before long, the general fund will be broke as well. Not that the water fund is broke.
Well, then maybe there's some money we can save that was going into the general fund. I mean, we should explore these things.
Okay, but you're not following what I'm trying to say. The water fund should be self-sufficient. If it's not, we're not really going to qualify for grants, or very few grants. Like, you can get them, but not to the extent we need.
What grants are those? Can we look at those for the workshop?
We are looking at grants. We talked with the county about partnering with them for grants. Yes, we are working on grants. But we have to have a little bit of capital to get grants, because grants are not free. And right now, we
Also,
don't.
they're raising it 4% every year. We're going to get farther and farther behind.
Behind.
Absolutely.
So you're gonna have to do this anyway.
Yeah. and
Yeah, we're
that's-
going to be in the red if
I
we
mean, I
don't
don't want
do
anybody to think on council that any of us want to do this. I mean, we don't want to do this. We didn't want to do it when we had to before,
No,
but
but
some to.
Yeah, part of the meeting with the county is they want to put a water line in. We want to work with them because we need water lines. So, you know, we are gonna hire an engineer together, apply for a grant together, but the only way that's gonna work is if we have some money, and we don't.
There's matching grants too.
Well, matching, that's just it.
Well, for our match part.
Yes, but depends on what kind of grant you get, and
If you get them at the same time.
so, yeah, I mean,
Mr. President, can I ask a question? Ms. Forstall, is the water fund set up as an enterprise fund?
yes.
So enterprise funds by statute are supposed to be self-sufficient. They're designed so that, to be an enterprise fund, and most utilities are enterprise funds when they're run by municipalities. They have to feed themselves in terms of finance. The fees should be such that it finances all of the expenses from the enterprise fund. Really not supposed to put money from the general fund into an enterprise fund. You can on a limited basis, but you're not supposed to.
Right, I mean, we could, but it creates,
Shortage there. Well, I mean,
Well-
it's a problem in terms of the statutes because
Yes.
the enterprise fund is to be self-sufficient. It's not supposed to be financed by the village's general fund. If you have extreme expenses, you can move money to the general fund, but that money's never coming back unless you loan it to the enterprise fund. Because you can't take money out of an enterprise fund and put it into the general fund. So
Right.
once you put it in an enterprise fund, it's gone.
So if we
By
have savings
statute.
somewhere else, we can't add it to an enterprise fund? If we realize a savings somewhere, we can't,
You can on a
reallocate that savings
limited
there?
basis, but if you continually feed an enterprise fund by a general fund, it violates basic accounting principles and you're gonna get dinged in your audit. And you run the risk of it not being an enterprise fund anymore.
no, I guess, I think I'm not sure I was clear. So if you have an enterprise fund, as you're explaining, if we find $1,000 a month somewhere, and we say we would like to allocate this $1,000 a month to the enterprise fund,
No.
and that be done.
No, ma'am.
So when can that be how does that ever happen then?
So it happens when there's an emergency in the enterprise fund. For instance, there's a major main break and it's gonna cost $40,000 to fix it, and the enterprise fund doesn't have that money, but it has to be done, so you take the money from the general fund and reallocate it to the enterprise fund, understanding that you're never gonna get that money back. So it's generally done on emergency basis. You can't supplement it every month. That's the problem with an emergency fund. The other thing I wanted to mention, Mr. President, was this is on for a first reading. So there'll have to be 3 readings before it can be voted on. So that gives council at least 2 workshops before they have to make a decision. In terms of the discussions you were asking for, Councilwoman, you'll have at least 2 workshops for those discussions before it comes to a vote. Thank you.
who knows?
I believe the president had asked for a motion for the first reading on the water rate.
I'll make a motion.
I'll second it.
Mr. Skonis,
Yes.
Mrs. Beckman,
Yes.
Mrs. Nash,
Yes.
Mrs. Skeeta? Yes. Mrs. Sintic
Yes.
and Mrs. Swanger?
Yes.
Now we need a motion to adopt ordinance 2652, abuse fee.
What was that?
It was increasing.
Yeah, I know it was increasing, but didn't we like put a dollar amount on that?
Yeah,
We
it's on there.
separated it into 3
You
different.
do have one with you, I mean, in front of you somewhere.
Why does this qualify as an emergency?
Do you have it?
Got it.
Mr. Mayor, why does this qualify as an emergency? Is there a public health and safety risk?
Not that there's an emergency, is it?
I don't see the public health issue as necessary to be emergency.
It doesn't have to be a public health and safety.
There are certain reasons that you can pass something as an emergency. Public health and safety is one of them. I brought one of those with me, Becky. Let's see.
So these fees go into water and sewer?
Yes.
Can you switch me the ordinance? This one.
This one? Okay, so my question was, this abuse comes out of water and sewer? So we're down to 126, 126.
That's what it is currently.
What it is
Okay,
current.
so, can you give me an idea, like when you go out, how much time, how many people go out?
We try to not do anything with just one person. I mean, obviously sometimes it's, you only have one person to go. But, you know, everything is more expensive now and hasn't been touched in 20 years. So,
But we are basically losing money at 126.
at this point, yeah, pretty much.
Okay, so now we're talking about money that's going out of the water and sewer. So yes, this needs to,
Okay, it's been like this for 20 years. My question is, why is it an emergency today? Why are we not doing 3 readings?
In case one breaks tomorrow, we could use the
we
50
could,
bucks.
yes. Why wait and keep losing more money?
In my opinion, we overuse emergencies, and I think
You
we should be more.
Then vote
said
no.
that.
We should do
Yeah,
more.
just vote no.
We should hear more about what the residents think instead of just passing things as emergencies without giving them an opportunity.
Emergency measures are measures necessary for the immediate preservation of the public peace, health, or safety. So, if it's for the public peace, health, or safety, then it can be passed as an emergency.
Does this constitute things?
Well, if their grinder breaks and we can't use it,
That's up to council.
then that would be a health issue.
I don't see how a fee is a health issue.
Because you gotta pay the employees to fix the health issue.
I would make the motion to make this a first reading and not pass as an emergency.
Well, I'll make the motion to pass it as an emergency.
I'll second.
Do you have any seconds on either one?
I'll second someone.
Mr. Simonis?
Yes.
Mrs. Swanger?
Yes.
Mrs. Beckwith?
Yes.
Mrs. Nash?
Yes.
Mrs. Skiba? Yes. Mrs. Hunter?
No?
What was that?
No?
Okay, now we need a motion to adopt ordinance 2653, creating an administrative appeal process.
I'll make a motion for ordinance 2026-0503.
What was this again? Are we passing? So
Mr.
that-
President, if I might.
Go ahead.
So, one of the issues we came across in a recent matter was that because there's no administrative appeal process in our ordinance, it made it difficult to get court costs or whatever else if the matter goes to court. So what this ordinance does is set up an administrative process for residents to appeal grinder abuse fees. First, they appeal to the Water and Sewer Committee. And then if they're not happy with the Water and Sewer Committee's decision, they can appeal it to council as a whole. and then council as a whole would sit as a jury, as a trial, take evidence. The people could be represented by an attorney if they wanted to have one present, and then council would vote by majority vote whether to impose the grinder fee or not impose the grinder fee. So it adds that administrative layer before it goes to court.
So the reason we couldn't get it back is we didn't offer
That was one
a
of the
different
things,
avenue for,
that was one of the things the judge said, and that seemed something that could be fixed.
right,
So,
and we're fixed for it.
so that's why at workshop I asked if council wanted me to draft something, and the answer was yes, so it figured the committee that would make most sense to review it in the first instance, just to look at everything informally, was the Water and Sewer Committee. And then, again, if they're not happy with the Water and Sewer Committee's decision, then it would come to council as a whole.
So that would be before it goes to court, is that what you're saying?
I'm saying
In lieu
that
of.
if after council decides on it, they want to go to court, they still can. But at least now there's built-in a layer where they get the chance, where a citizen gets the chance to have their say before they have to go in front of a judge and present any evidence that they have to show that it wasn't grinder abuse that caused it, but something else that caused the problem. So, yeah.
So there was, notes from Chloe saying that there was grease all over town, like there was a grease issue. Did we ever get that settled? Did we ever figure out, you said that they were testing something, you sent it away. Does anyone remember that? It was a couple months ago.
Since we've had our own sewer operator, he has been testing the plant and trying to get to the bottom of issues we've been having at the sewer plant for at least a decade. And one of those that we have, I mean, obviously there's a lot, it's a very complicated system. But one of those issues is we have really high grease numbers at the plant. So when we're just testing more, when we do have a call, we see issues, but it also costs money to test, so we gotta kind of.
So does that have anything to do with what this is?
No.
Totally different.
Yeah. Can you give me an example of why, how
So-
we would use this? How a
Sure.
resident would?
So, they had a call out, and Chloe and Andrew, Aaron, I'm sorry.
That's all right.
I was gonna get it wrong. Aaron went to look, the grinder had stopped working. They determined that it was a violation of the grinder abuse ordinance. So they cited the resident, gave them a slip saying, you abused the grinder, there's a $126 fee. The resident disagrees with that, so the resident writes a letter to Sam and the mayor and says, I disagree with this. I don't think I abused the grinder. The Water and Sewer Committee meets, they listen to what the resident has to say on why they think that it wasn't grinder abuse. They listen to what the employees who went there have to say about why they think it was grinder abuse. They talk about it, they vote. If they decide that it was not abuse, then the fee goes away. The fee is rescinded. If they decide that it was abuse, that it was a violation of the abuse ordinance, then they say, no, we've looked at it and we believe that you did abuse your grinder, so we're gonna impose the fee. They have to do that in writing within, I think I said 14 days.
14, yeah.
The person then, if they still don't agree, even after having heard the village out, can write a letter to the mayor, and then I think it's the fiscal officer, and say, I want to be heard by council. So council would have to come in at a regular meeting, early or stay late or whatever, and it would be recorded so that a transcript would be prepared if necessary. They could present witnesses, those witnesses would be questioned, they could have an attorney if they wanted. It would be like a trial in front of council. And then council would deliberate after they heard all the evidence and all the arguments, and they would reach a decision, either imposing or not imposing the grinder fee. It's what y'all were talking about giving the citizens a chance to be heard before they have to go in front of a judge. Because right now, if Chloe says, you've abused the grinder, here's your notice that there's a grinder abuse that's occurred, pay the fee, the only option is to go to court, which then requires a filing fee and everything else.
So what is, I guess, Chloe, what is your steps to document so that we as a village are,
I mean, we try to take pictures of every, especially if we think there's abuse, we try to take pictures every once in a while. Unfortunately, we don't, but we do make an effort to take pictures so that there is something that you feel like, this is why we think this fee should be imposed.
You do a report too, right?
Yeah, and we have work orders, and we try to document everything. Like I said, and we try to always have two people there. So there's two sets of eyes, not just one. So that sometimes there's just one of us available.
Right.
And there have been times when we've sent samples out for testing.
Yes.
Well, that's what my question was from the beginning, was the test.
So essentially.
But that costs like, how much, that
I
costs?
think it's over $100 each.
Yeah,
Time. So the village can test each time, and that absolutely would be awesome. But then you have to increase the grinder abuse fee
Even more.
to cover the cost.
Right.
Right.
I mean, in some things, it's just seen so many times that they know what it is. I mean,
Yes.
Okay, we have a motion to adopt the ordinance.
well, Sam had made the motion.
I'll second it.
Mr. Simonis?
Yes.
Mrs. Beckwith?
Yes.
Mrs. Nash?
Yes.
Mrs. Skeeta?
Yes.
Mrs. Cintiq?
No, but for the record, I agree because I don't believe it's an emergency, but I do agree with the premise of it overall.
Mrs. Smonger?
Yes.
Okay. Now we have Resolution 2661. It's a resolution of Rock Creek Village Council adopting the Ashtabula County Hazardous Mitigation Plan. I talked it over with Cecilia. She wants to look into it before we go ahead and pass the resolution.
But this could be a first reading.
We could have a first reading on it. The document unfortunately is over 600 pages. So it's going to take a little time to go through it.
I'll make a motion for the first reading of, for the Rock Creek Village Council to adapt the Asheville County Hazard Mitigation Plan.
I'll second.
Mrs. Beckwith?
Yes.
Mrs. Swanger?
Yes.
Mr. Simonis?
Yes.
Mrs. Nash?
Yes.
Mrs. Skeeta?
Are we gonna read this? I don't even know what this is even pertaining to.
Cecilia's going to read it.
That's why when the mayor mentioned it to me, if I might, Mr. Mayor, I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
I said I would really rather y'all not vote on it until I've read the Ashtabula County Hazard Mitigation Plan, because if we're going to agree to it, it would be nice to know what we're agreeing to.
Absolutely.
So, but there seems to be some urgency on the county's behalf, so if you can do the first reading, that'll give me, again, 60 days to read it and report back what you're agreeing to.
And basically the hazard mitigation program is done every 4 years with FEMA. And if something would happen, we'd have a hurricane, or not hurricane, a tornado, a massive snowstorm, we have damage, we have flooding, we'd be eligible to get FEMA grants and FEMA money. Without this mitigation, we go to FEMA and they'll say, well, I'm sorry, but you didn't sign, you didn't agree to it, too bad, you're on your own.
Do we need buy-in from our fire chief on this?
He was probably invited to the meeting, but he didn't show. Because the Geneva fire chief was there.
So we should probably reach out to him.
Yeah, I'll check with Sean and see if he knew about it. If not, then we'll get him involved in the middle of it too.
All right, thank you.
Is this like an extension to the nuclear power plant if it blows up?
No, that's a different program.
Or is it a different
That'd
program?
be a different program. This is basically for a bad snowstorm, takes
We don't
out
have to worry
trees.
about it.
Yeah.
So like,
No, you're on your own for that.
so like, not last year, but the year before.
Yeah.
When we had that really bad storm, and a bunch of people lost their gutters and their mailboxes.
Right.
So this would help
Okay,
replace those.
okay.
You know, same thing with flooding. If somebody
Yeah.
has,
Yeah.
massive flooding and natural disaster type.
Oh, okay, that's just, all right.
Because without passing this, I'm not entitled to anything from the government.
Yeah. Barbie said yes.
Yeah, yes.
Okay, Wendy?
Yes.
Gloria?
Yes.
You already said yes. Yeah, Sam? Angie, I need you.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, next we have an executive session. We're going to be discussing. Any comments from the public? Go ahead.
Yeah, after you were elected, you wrote some letters and requests to some state official boards or whatever. And you had some concerns about missing funds. You stated in some of these complaints you made.
To who?
Ethics or state auditor. You requested a
Forensic audit.
forensic audit.
The forensic audit was mentioned because we wanted to be sure that there were no missing funds.
Did you find any missing funds?
They haven't got back to us yet.
Oh, okay. And also, you mentioned that
That's not true.
No, that's not true.
I haven't
Got
heard anything
email,
back.
we all got
Yeah,
email,
yeah.
they found nothing.
Oh, yeah, I didn't get that. They didn't let me know.
Also, you mentioned that you inherited some problem children that you'd like to thin out. And I got a copy of that here. Which ones did you need? Council people, employees?
It was going to just be on a,
Isn't that a personal vendetta you just talked about in your speech?
well, that's why this letter was written the way it was.
It
that
seemed
we were
like
going
you
to-
said it was just for two people. That
The letter was written, the reading that I gave was that we're gonna work on these things.
But you came right in the office wanting to thin people out.
And you know this how.
I public records request of your complaint.
I believe in the email it said the old council member.
The old council member, yeah.
Yes, and then it listed their names in the
So I was just curious which ones you wanted to thin out.
Well, the
So
old,
maybe if you want to work on this stuff, you should.
I'm
look
the
at
only
here
old one.
first.
I'm kind of behind you.
Everybody else is new, and I'm the oldest and the old one, so.
We're not letting you go in.
So, I guess
All right.
I guess it's me, Joe,
Oh, okay.
okay?
You'll probably be happy to do that. That's it for me.
Anything for me?
Sam, you mentioned some meeting they were talking about a bobcat. I didn't catch what you were talking about.
Oh, that was the commerce meeting.
The commerce meeting? Why are we talking about that at the Chamber of Commerce meeting?
Question for Cecilia.
I'm sorry, yes, ma'am.
I missed what was funny, but
It was inappropriate.
does the administrator have the authority to hire a zoning inspector?
Generally speaking, the administrator has the authority to hire and fire employees, yes.
Okay, cool. Thank you. Question for Councilwoman Sintek. Last meeting, I think it was a workshop, you mentioned that the abuse fees are not handled in a consistent manner. But can you elaborate on that, please?
Not at this time.
Okay.
Thank you for the question, though.
Sure. In a complaint that you made against the fiscal officer, Wendy, this is still you, you made comment of having concerns about the, and I quote, mental capacity of the outgoing mayor. What qualifies you to make such an assessment?
No comment. Out of respect for the outgoing mayor.
Did you try to have a personal conversation with her
I
about
said
this?
no comment out of respect for the outgoing mayor.
Okay. Follow up to that, do you think your husband badgering her at meetings might have contributed to her overall mental state?
You like the word badgering? You're good at that. No comment.
Thank you. Okay. Follow up, are you aware you need a zoning permit to build in the village?
No comment.
Okay. Oh, one more thing, sorry, I got lost. In one of your complaints about the fiscal officer, you specifically referred to an ORC code about, hold on, let me see. Unlawful interest in public contract, noting a key provision, officials cannot authorize or influence contracts or arrangements where they have a personal interest. And yet at the workshop, you didn't have anything to say about Councilwoman Mosqueda saying it's not going to happen, referring to salt bins being built on the maintenance restaurant.
No comment.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, let's enter executive session.
Oh, before you do
Oh,
that.
oh, that's right, we do have one comment from the,
I didn't think Lady-
I had a comment. I was wondering when you're going to start working on the sidewalks that you said were going to be worked on.
We are getting used to our new skid steer, and we're gonna try to at least start it by the end of this week.
That would be
Now
great.
that school
I was
is out.
wondering.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we were
Yeah.
waiting
They
till.
were waiting for school to
I
be
think
out.
we were waiting for
But yeah,
school.
and now we just gotta-
Get plans to
Yeah,
start it soon.
yeah, we're just trying to get used to a new,
It's gonna be exciting. It's gonna be
Yeah.
a boom.
so that we're
Yeah,
efficient
it's
before
gonna-
we start a big.
I just wondered when it was being done.
okay, we do have a comment that was dropped off.
The village received a letter for the council meeting. It says to the village officers and council members, due to my work schedule, I cannot attend council meetings. I would like the contents of this letter to be read by someone in council who was involved or has knowledge of the village being sued by Bob Schultz in 2021. Clearly, that's not me. That way, my statements can be verified. I would like my statements to be read during the public portion of the meeting. Please make these statements part of the record and minutes as well. Although I do not participate in nor have any social media affiliation, I do have the ability to read the Facebook pages of Rock Creek. About a month ago, I was reading a back and forth discussion and debate on the water situation in the village. At some point, Bob Schultz brought up the topic of his new $4,000 driveway. He also had mentioned that his neighbor's sewer pipe leaked and it was under his concrete. I am that neighbor and would like to state some facts relating to the comments that he made on his post and the situation in general. Yes, it was my sewer pipe that mysteriously started to leak or seep to driveway level about a week after the driveway was finished. My clean-out pipe / curb stop and his were side by side in the middle of his driveway. My pipe was approximately half an inch to an inch higher than his. In the village, residents are responsible for the pipes from their house to their grinder. The village is responsible for the grinder to the street. Bob told me this when I moved in, as well as bragged about this grinder system he implemented some years before. Kim. In 1989, when the grinder system was implemented, Bob Schultz was the mayor, and public record has his signature on documents approving the final locations of all the sewer lines in the village. This is the reason for my pipe location. Both our curb stops were below ground level in his then gravel-type driveway. In trying to determine where the leak was, the village got a contractor to dig along my house and next to Bob Schultz's new driveway. When we could not find the line, they determined it had to be somewhere under his new concrete. The village then found documents showing the location of the pipes under his driveway. Bob, I, the contractor, the village administrator, and the labor guys all discussed a plan of action. Ultimately, Bob gave permission to the village contractor to cut a section of his driveway to access the pipes. The incompetent, and that's in quotes, village contractor was extremely careful and was able to pull the cut section in one piece and carefully set it in Bob Schultz's front yard. While digging into the gravel looking for the leak, it was discovered that the cap on my pipe was scraped and damaged. It was determined that these fresh-looking damages were caused by the machine used to grate his driveway. It had caught the top of the cap and pulled it just enough to cause a stress break at the elbow of the vertical and horizontal pipes. Pictures were taken of the damaged areas of pipe. Clearly, this was an unfortunate accident due to the fact that the contractor was unaware of the pipes being under his driveway. My understanding is that all curb stops are to be exposed and easily accessible for cleaning out. If this were the case, this would not have happened. I am not sure why the contractor did not just make an insurance claim. That is why they pay so much money for liability insurance. Bob Schultz decided to sue the village, and for some unknown reason, my wife and I were also named in the suit. This required me to retain legal counsel because the village has its own attorney and could not also represent me. During the period before our eventual mediation, Bob Schultz's attorney attempted to get me to sign agreements for easement and to relocate my pipe. That failed miserably because I was not that gullible nor intimidated by such nonsense. Even during mediation, they tried to get me to agree to things that made no sense in the situation. Eventually, after realizing his lawsuit was a frivolous, straw-reaching event, Mr. Bob Schultz withdrew from his lawsuit. At that time, I was informed that the village had filed a countersuit and also withdrew it, so I would not have to continue to pay legal fees and be involved with a situation that I should not have been put in the first place. So after having to get his driveway redone and paying his expensive smart attorney, who should have told him not to pursue such nonsense, I believe his beautiful $4,000 driveway did cost him $11,000. That was a self-inflicted result and could have easily been avoided with a simple insurance claim by his reputable contractor. On a final note, due to the type of lawsuit and other reasons, I was unable to receive any compensation for expenses or time spent on this case. So tell me, who really had a legitimate reason to whine 5 years later? Thank you for listening and seeing my side of the story, Steve Harris.
Comments from the public? About 90% of that person is. People are leaving around, watching us do the work. So, it's a bunch of hogwash. The sewer line wasn't where the easement said it was. I didn't give permission to them to start digging up my driveway, which was Mr. Hamper. Pretty much destroyed it. So, a bunch of hogwash.
Would you like to comment on where that sewer line is?
I mean, I've looked at the maps, and it is exactly where the map says it is. That's all I can say. I was not with the village at that time, but
The easement that was recorded by the county showed that the sewer line ran about 1 foot parallel to Mr. Harris's house. My sewer line, according to the easement, ran about 1 foot parallel to my driveway. We didn't, that curb cocks, both of them, were buried under the ground. My contractor didn't disturb it. The concrete didn't hurt it, it was just buried underground, and it wasn't where it was supposed to be. We didn't hit it, so bunch of hogwash.
Do we have maps then for all this?
His lines are exactly where our maps say.
Who was the administrator?
There was no easement showing
I
the
think Teddy
curb cock, or the curb cocks coming to the center of my driveway. The easements all showed, according to the auditor, the title company that I had to do the search, that I paid for, showed that the sewer lines were exactly where I just mentioned. So, take it from there, I don't care, I consider the source, I know where he got most of his information anyhow, so.
Would you like to come look at our records? I have copies of the sewer lines, the sewer shut-off maps, and they are exactly where the map says they are. So that's all I can say.
Yeah.
The new easement shows them where they are now.
I mean, there are the original maps. Why would we have a new easement? All right.
Okay, any further questions?
I just have one more question for you, Mayor Graves. In a claim that Councilwoman Sintek made against the fiscal officer, she said she was committing deception of counsel and behavior unbecoming of an Ohio Village fiscal officer regarding her other job offer. Were you able to verify that she did have a job offer from the current or the former mayor of Roman Shores?
No comment.
Do you still believe in transparency,
Yeah, absolutely.
Councilwoman Sintek?
No comment.
No comment about transparency.
No comment.
Okay. Oh, one final comment. Councilwoman Mosqueda, is it your position that you are unaware that your husband and son most days are up on Liberty Street working on a piece of property without a zoning permit or a building permit? Yes or no?
No comment.
Do you believe in transparency?
What are you doing?
I'm asking for you to be transparent. You ran on that, no? You said you didn't know. Do you know or not?
I didn't think the meeting for nitpicking and.
They're asking questions.
Yeah.
Asking questions is not bullying.
The way you
There's
were
a
saying.
reason for it, so.
No, it's just asking questions.
No.
I mean, he knows that she had a job offer, he just won't say it.
Personal vendetta.
Yes, that he brought up.
I have pages of complaints they made that are full of bull something.
I move to go to executive session.
Can I ask Councilwoman Mosqueda to answer my question, please?
Can we go to executive session?
Executive session.
Do we have to vote to go into executive session?
I thought we did.
We have to vote.
Pizza shop.
Oh, pizza shop.
Motion to adjourn?
I'll second.
I second.
Second.
That's my voice.